Manny Pacquiao versus Vasyl Lomachenko. Welcome to the show where we're going to be discussing the key factors of this super fight and predicting the outcome. So the first thing that I want to ask you to do is to jump down to the comment section below and make your own prediction on the outcome of the fight. That's the victor of this fight and the method of victory. Brilliant. So let's move on. So this is Manny Pacquiao versus Vasyl Lomachenko. At the time that I'm recording this fight, it hasn't been put pen to paper, but it is one of a number of super fights that I'm hopeful of occurring this year. And I'm creating a number of videos on the channel where I'm going to be discussing those super fights. So Manny Pacquiao versus Vasyl Lomachenko. You know, we have two phenomenal fighters. You know, on one hand, we've got a future Hall of Famer, an 8-well world champion, someone who's beaten other legitimate Hall of Famers, been in some of the biggest super fights of all time, wowed us with skill and speed, you know, in picking apart bigger guys, you know, and having some phenomenal results. And on the other side, we have a two-time Olympic gold champion with an exceptional amateur career. Someone who was a world title challenger in just his second professional fight and then went on to become a two-weight world champion in only 7 fights. He's boxed his last 4 opponents into submission, making them quit, including one of the most avoided fighters that I can remember, okay? And he has shown lightning skills and phenomenal movement that's left his opponents devoid of any answers, you know? So we have got 2 legitimate superstars that could be coming together, you know? And for me, there are 3 factors, 3 key factors of discussion which will tell the story of this fight. The first is the size of the 2 boxers. The second is the age of the 2 boxers. And thirdly, it is the skills and how they blend together to create this fight. So let's talk about size. And this is something that I think a lot of people it will be a big bone of contention, a big discussion point, and it'll be something that people think is a reason why this fight can never really happen. I mean, but let's look at the facts, okay? Let's look at the facts. Manny Pacquiao is 5'5" in height with a 67-inch reach, okay? Whereas Lomachenko is 5'7" with a 65-inch reach. So in terms of height, Lomachenko is actually the taller man. You know, reach, there isn't much in it. So just from, you know, the legitimate facts, these 2 men are effectively the same size. Where the difference comes into play is the fact that Manny Pacquiao has been fighting for 10 years at 147, where Lomachenko most recently has been fighting at 130. So there is a significant difference. But here are the facts. Manny Pacquiao jumped up a number of weight classes 10 years ago in quick succession and jumped up multiple weights to take on Oscar De La Hoya, okay? And then he continued fighting in these higher weight classes, okay? And the difference and the thing to consider is that for me, Manny Pacquiao has never ever been a legitimate 147. You look at even his last fight, okay, against Horn, 147. But I can almost guarantee that Manny Pacquiao on the night was probably about 147. He may even have been less. Horn, on the other hand, will have cut weight and he will have been, 7 or 8 pounds heavier on the night. So there would have been a significant size differential on the night. And we know that's been the case through all of Manny Pacquiao's fights. I've heard many interviews with Manny Pacquiao where he talks about when he walks about, he is about 140, his regular weight. Before he gets into camp, he's about 140. And he actually puts on weight to for these 147 fights. Now let's think about Lomachenko. He's fine at 130. He isn't putting weight on to get to 130. He will be cutting weight. So it's possible that he is also a 140 guy, cutting down to 130 for that 130 showdown. And, and then rehydrating up to maybe 135, 136 on the night. So where does this fight take place? For me, it takes place at 135. Can Manny Pacquiao make that 100%? Can Lomachenko make it? Yep. And on the night, will there be any difference in size? There will be a 0. There will be 0 difference in size. And if anything, I think this is a good thing for Manny Pacquiao. The giving him the hunger and the desire to actually get in a position to cut weight. It will be a different proposition as he hasn't done it for years. But I think it will instill some discipline and some hunger into this fight that he may not have had in some of his previous fights. So let's talk about the next factor that everyone is talking about, the age difference. Now there is an age difference. There is a serious age difference between the two fighters, and people will say this is going to be the problem is going to be for Manny Pacquiao, 39 years of age. What does he have left? Does he have anything left in the tank? But what we have to consider is, in his most recent fights, has he looked out of his depth? Okay, has he slowed down? Has he lost power? Does he still want it? These are the 4 questions, that we have to answer. And, has he looked out of his depth? I would say no. He lost his last fight. Many people say that he won that fight and it was a poor decision from the judges. It went to the judges and Horn won the decision. Okay, but the statistics showed that Manny Pacquiao outpunched with accurate punches in 11 of the 12 rounds. And, it's a good example of a fight where statistics and punch stats don't tell the full story. Despite the fact that Manny Pacquiao was clearly more accurate, he landed twice as many punches. It was a close fight. And you can't just score rounds based on punch stats. You have to take into consideration everything else. Because we know, just say for instance, that fighter A can be winning a round, then fighter B drops fighter A, and it goes from being a 10-9 round in favour of fighter A to being a 10-8 round in favour of fighter B. Okay, so we need to consider the fact that there can be subtle elements in rounds that can be the deciding factor, and it's not just about dropping your opponent. Okay, it's about key punches, hurtful punches. And for me, whilst I think that Manny Pacquiao won that fight, it was a lot closer than probably a lot of people may have suggested. Okay, has he slowed down? I don't think he. I think yes is the truthful answer, but has he slowed down dramatically? I don't think he is. I mean, you look at that fight against Horn, I think he could have gone on, for another 5-6 rounds very comfortably. Very, very comfortably. Has he lost his power? This is something that people talk about over and over again. Manny Pacquiao hasn't been capable of stopping an opponent for quite some time. His last stoppage victory was against Cotto, and he had Ricky Hatton just before that. Both of those were in 2009. Hasn't been capable of stopping opponents, despite the fact that he has completely destroyed people, you know, over the years, such as Margarito and Mosley, and, you know, most recently against Horn. He had in all types of trouble. And, you know, a Manny Pacquiao of, you know, the 2005 version would, or 2006, 2007, probably would have punched him into submission. Okay, so maybe he has lost his power, but we saw in the Horn fight he was landing some very accurate and hurtful punches, and it all depends on the day. You know, the key thing here, the next question is, does he still want it? You know, we saw him go to the corner in the Horn fight numerous times, asking for the doctor over and over again. Does he still want it? He's got his head in politics. It's something that only he knows, but you have to assume that he doesn't want it as much as he may have wanted it 10 years ago. Okay, but moving forward with the third factor of this fight, okay, it's skill, where it blends. And this is where it gets interesting, because both fighters are elite boxers. Both have great punch speed, variety, and phenomenal accuracy. Okay, and you know how this fight blends for me is Lomachenko's movement and Pacquiao's accurate counters. Okay, now when Pacquiao fought Mayweather, okay, this is another question that was into play. Mayweather's movement, Pacquiao's ability to get counters. But what actually happened was that Pacquiao couldn't really land because Mayweather's movement was so phenomenal. I mean, he struggled to impart his own game plan at all. And Mayweather was in and out, you know, like a thief in the night, getting those points on the board round after round. But this is the thing. This is where, for me, the difference is. Lomachenko isn't going to run. He's not going to be running about. He's going to be there to win. He's going to be on the offense. He's going to want to beat Pacquiao through skill and ability. He's not going to want to do just enough. He's going to want to, you know, put his line in the sand and say, I am the best. Do you know what I mean? And he's going to go out there to win. This is the key, okay? This is the key. And not only, and the reason why this changes, it gives Pacquiao that opportunity. Because Lomachenko will be going to win and doing it through his own skills and speed and movement, Pacquiao does have that chance. But we have to ask, is Pacquiao still fast enough? Is Lomachenko going to give him those opportunities? And whilst Lomachenko will attack, he's not going to be going and sitting on him. He's not going to be grabbing him like Horn may have done, or may have some others. He is going to be boxing and moving and twisting around him, and it's going to be a struggle, in my opinion, for Pacquiao to land them. As I say, because of the offensive nature of Lomachenko, Pacquiao does have the chance, and this is the difference between that and the Mayweather fight and maybe some of the others. But for me, Lomachenko lands the more accurate punches time and time again and eliminates what he takes. And for me, my prediction on this fight is that it does in fact go the distance, but it's a wide victory for Lomachenko. So let me know what you think. Do you think Lomachenko wins this, or do you think that Manny Pacquiao is going to roll back the years and do something special and, you know, put his flag in the castle and say, I am the number one guy once again, before possibly calling it a day? So who wins? How does it end? Let me know in the comments section below. I would love to hear from you, and I'll see you in the next video.